Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at the markets today. Today is June 28th, 2026. I'm going to go through all the markets from currencies to metals, energies, indices, and also crypto. Once again, before I get started, as a reminder, everything that is published on my channel is for educational or entertainment purposes only. If you need help with your investments, make sure you consult your financial advisor. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at the currencies. So I'm going to take a look at the dollar index first here. I've been tracking this for the past couple of weeks now. So basically what I'm looking at for the ones that are new, this is the commitment of traders report, put in the form of an index, and also you can see we have a net indicator. So typically what I do when I'm analyzing the commercials here, which is the smart money, I look to see where it is relative to the index here. Is it at an extreme high or low? Now, what this means is if it's at an extreme low here, the smart money is building up short positions on the US dollar. And then once I see it at an extreme, I look at how it looks like on the net indicator. So if we look at, I'm just trying to see if I can make this bigger here. Okay, so I put a horizontal line because I want to see what happened in the past when the commercials actually hit like this level. So if I put a vertical line, I'm going to do it kind of at the start. And right now we're kind of getting close, but we're not quite there. If you look at what happened in the past when the commercials hit this level, you will notice the US dollar dropped. Okay, and over here you can see it dropped again and again. And we're kind of approaching that level. And typically what happens is when the commercials are like selling, more often than not, the retail traders, which is the red indicator over here, tends to be the opposite direction because retail traders are usually wrong. Okay, so if you look at the retail traders, they're actually getting even more bullish. So the retail traders think the US dollar is going to go up. In other words, if you're trading Forex, they think the Euro USD is going to drop. And, they're betting heavily against it. They're building up positions. And you can see it in the market. That's one thing with the commercials, or at least the COT. These are actual positions in the market. So I believe by law, I think the hedge funds, the banks, the pension funds, they have to actually disclose their positions in the market. And that comes in the form of this report. And this is basically mapping it out. So in a sense, it's kind of giving you guidance as to where the market may be headed. Now, it does lag by a week, but don't let that fool you because usually for the market to turn around, it can take weeks, sometimes even months to turn around. Like if you look at over here, and if we zoom in here, this is a weekly chart. Okay, so this took, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically 5-6 weeks for the market to turn around, and then it made that massive drop. So we're at a point here, where I think we may start to turn around soon. I was looking at a couple of things here. Let me just remove that because there is a level here that I am kind of interested in. I'm kind of wondering if the US dollar is going to move up to this level. So I'm actually going to draw it out now because I'm kind of curious to see what happens in the past. Once all of this happens and unfolds, if I get this level right, because this is kind of the reason why I'm also posting my videos of my trading, because I think this could potentially happen. Okay, because there is a level here where we have a base drop, which is basically supply and demand. If you guys are familiar with that, if you don't know about supply and demand, definitely check out Bernd Skopinski's channel. I wanted to leave a link in the video description, but YouTube has not allowed me to do that. I have to have like 500 subscribers or something. So if you guys have not yet subscribed, make sure you do that because, I would definitely like to put all the other mentors and, the creators, other traders that I've learned from. I would like to put them, give them credit to, what I've learned from their channels. Okay, so make sure you do that. It would really help me out. But yeah, getting back to the US dollar, I am very bearish on the US dollar, which means the British pound, the euro, the Swiss franc, Japanese yen, Canadian dollar, Australian, and New Zealand. I'm going to be bullish on those currencies. Now we take a look at the British pound here. Okay, so notice how the commercials or the smart money, they're buying up the British pound. You don't see it yet. Remember, it takes a couple of weeks before everything kind of unravels and you start seeing it happen. But they are starting to build positions on the British pound. And if you take a look at the retail traders, they're actually, they think that the British pound is going to go down. And it is going down now, but they're usually wrong. And if you look at history, the times that we dip down like this, if you look back over here, what actually happened? So the retail traders were selling off the British pound only to have it reverse on them. And we could do this all day. Like, look at this over there, and again over here. We had another instance over here where this was pretty low. Look at this. Okay, so they started selling off, and then what do you know? It reversed on them. And we're getting at that point here where it's pretty extreme. Look at this. And I was looking also, we haven't, the commercials are really high. Like if you look at past levels here. Okay, so we're actually beyond it, I think. Yeah, we're getting very extreme. Actually, I think we even broke this level here. No, pretty close though. The last time we were here was 2017. Look at this. 2017 and 2019? 2019. Yeah, so what happened when we were at these extremes? Well, look at this. We went up. And then over here, we went up. Okay, so we're actually getting to the point where the British pound is going to push higher. When is it going to do that? I don't know yet. All I know is when I put the 20-day moving average, we are below it. And you want price to start closing above the 20-day moving average. This is just something that I picked up from Larry Williams. Okay, so he uses the COT. If you haven't yet checked out Larry Williams, do your research on him. Really interesting the way that he trades. But basically, I want the price to close above the 20-day moving average, and for the 20-day moving average to basically slope up like that. We haven't gotten to that point yet, so I'm not getting involved, but I am watching and I am tracking the British pound. Now, it's going to be the same thing for like the euro. Okay, so if I remove this, I had a couple of lines there, but you can see here, we are at an extreme high. Same with the Swiss franc. Same with the Japanese yen. Actually, the Japanese yen, I'd be very careful of this currency pair. The central bank, so the Bank of Japan, they have actually warned multiple times that there may be intervention. And if you look at where we are here, we have not been at these levels. Like, we're actually breaking history. So I think they're going to intervene very soon if they do. And the last time we were at these levels, look at this. So I'm just trying to mark this area. If you go back in history, I don't even think I can see. Actually, wait, I can see. Let's just see what happened over here. Because I'm looking back at this. When was this? 2007? Wait, was this before the financial crisis? Yeah, it might be before, just as the financial crisis happened. Look at this. And the Japanese yen, look at how high it went. And we're getting at those levels right now. Look at this. We're really close. And over here, this was 2024. 2024. And again, we had that reaction going up. And right now, we're getting very close. I mean, we may drop a little bit more, but I'm expecting the Japanese yen to go up. Now, the thing is, if you go back and you look at your indices, your equity markets, when we had a strong Japanese yen like that, that is basically, risk aversion. When there's risk aversion, the markets tend to drop. Okay, so we may be in for a drop soon. I'm not sure, but if they intervene, we could very well see that happening. And you can see even here, the retail traders, they're very bearish. Okay, so they selling off on the Japanese yen, and if you look at history, generally speaking, the retail traders are wrong. So yeah, we might be seeing intervention from the Bank of Japan. Whether it's this week, I don't know. All I know is we're reaching very dangerous levels here. As far as this currency goes, I would be very careful of selling. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes all the way up and takes out these highs. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, but yeah, just giving you a heads up. In terms of gold, you can see the smart money is buying. Okay, and once again, the retail traders are going the opposite direction, but I could very well see the gold starting to kind of move up. Not just yet, though, but we are at those levels. Platinum, I believe we are very bullish now on platinum, so I'm expecting platinum to actually move up as well. I'm just looking at this chart here. We actually have a reaction here from this level. Now, whether it goes up from this point, I mean, it's quite possible. But there's another level over here where we have a drop base rally. Okay, I'm just going to mark off that candle here, but typically it's the whole zone. Like, it would be the entire zone here. But just to kind of refine it, these are the levels I'm basically watching on platinum. Okay, and then we have copper. Okay, so copper, I was bearish, and I believe last weekend I did say that I'm expecting copper to drop because on the daily we were below the 20-day moving average, and we actually did drop. We're going back to retrace. You know what? I think it's going up to, there's a supply zone here. Okay, so I think this is what may potentially happen. It's actually drop, but I'm gonna just use that candle. Okay, so we could be seeing that copper does this. Okay, so we have copper. Let me just see. Crude oil. Ooh, okay. Crude oil. You know what? I was actually watching crude oil because one of the things I noticed, like last week, it looked like it was drifting up. And if it starts hitting that green line, it means the smart money is actually buying. They're starting to build up long positions, which wouldn't surprise me. I mean, we have been dropping down here, but yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that. For now, we are in a move down, based on what I'm seeing here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a reaction. There's actually, let's just see how many levels we can see here. I think we may be going to kind of this zone. I'm not sure where to sell from here. What I do know, though, if I turn on my 20-day moving average, we are actually quite a bit away from it. So if we do end up going up, I could see, actually, you know what? There is a zone here. I could see this. You have a bit of a gap here, though. Okay, so there's actually two areas. It's kind of like this whole area here. We have a lot of supply. Has to get through this zone though, but I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of retraces back up here and then moves down. But yeah, those are pretty much the zones I'm watching for crude oil. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see it. This is on the futures chart as well, just so that you know. Natural gas. Let's see what we have over here. Okay, natural gas. I think last week I said natural gas was going to go up. We kind of went up and then we created like a sort of a doji here. But I notice we are kind of drifting lower to this, but we're still going to move up. I'm just not sure by how much. And also, I think we are above the 20-day moving average, right? Yeah, we're above. I don't think I would trade natural gas because I think it's going to chop around here. We're kind of stuck. We're stuck to this 20-day moving average. So yeah, I wouldn't trade natural gas. I think it's going to chop around for a couple of weeks maybe. But I am tracking it because I think it's going to end up going down. Okay, based on what I'm seeing here. Let's just take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still, I think Bitcoin's going to go down even further. That is actually kind of crazy. Look at how much it's dropped all the way from, what is this, 120. I mean, this is the futures market, but 127. Yeah, 127,000. It has dropped all the way down to 59,000. That is nuts. Okay, so from here, where can it potentially bounce from? I'm just looking at this level over here because I have a feeling it's going to drop all the way down to this level. Technically, if you're trading like supply and demand, I would do my demand level like this. But I'm just going to refine a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's going to actually go past, but we'll see. But yeah, I'll be watching that level. Okay. So what is that? 44,000. 44 to 42,000. We could potentially see Bitcoin drop all the way down. If we start seeing that, the smart money or the commercials here start moving up to the green line, then that would be the time to buy. But we're far from that. And I would imagine that Ethereum is also, yep, we're also down here. And I can't even join any zones here. I mean, I guess I could. There is one zone here, but once it gets past this, I don't know. We don't have any reference point, but we could see Ethereum drop all the way down here. That is nuts. Okay, let me just mark this off now so I can refer to it. Next weekend. I'm just looking at my chart here. Weekly. I'm trying to find, so if Ethereum does go up, where is it more likely to react from and go down? There is a zone here. This one here. Okay, so we could potentially see Ethereum move up there. I'm just looking at my chart here. Okay. Yeah, Ethereum could go up, but I think the overall trend, just based on what I'm seeing here, is going to be down. Now, we're going to take a look at the indices, because indices, I don't use the COT. It doesn't really work for the indices. What I'll do is I'll put a 20-day moving average on here, though. And if we look at the 20-day moving average, we are still above it. And the slope of the 20-day moving average is up. Okay, so YM is the Dow Jones. NQ is, oh wait, we're actually below this. Well, that's interesting. Hold on. Okay, so NASDAQ and S&P 500 are actually below the 20-day moving average. We might potentially be going down a little bit here. I'm not sure. This might also be tied to the Japanese yen, which I mentioned earlier. If they intervene, we will see the markets like crash. So, I mean, it's quite possible. We are below on two of these indices here. Russell, we're kind of far away, but I mean, if it goes down, we could see the Dow Jones, all of them start moving lower. So yeah, I would be very careful, I guess, of buying, at this point, based on what I'm seeing here, because these are below. This is a bit concerning because usually when I see this, um, we could see this kind of choppy behavior where it kind of grinds lower. Very possible. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be pretty much my market analysis for the currencies, for the metals, energies, crypto, and also the indices. If you guys also have other thoughts on the markets, share them in the comment section down below. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. This way it helps the channel out. And eventually when I get to 500 subscribers, I would like to start live streaming, my trading. I think that would be a lot of fun, a lot of pressure too, probably stressful, but yeah, I would like to do that at some point. Make sure you hit that like, and until the next video, I will catch you guys later.